Thursday, and no, this video wasn't planned, but today we're making Jimothy. I thought I'd sneak in a little Jimothy pattern before our next Pokemon episode. Okay, so let's talk tools and materials. You're going to need 8 ply 100% acrylic yarn in 3 colors. You're going to need a gray, a black, and a white, as well as a pair of 9mm safety eyes. You're also going to need a 3.5mm hook, some scissors, some stuffing, and this is a no-sew pattern, which means you don't have to sew anything, but a needle can make closing off the backs of the legs a little bit easier. It can be done with a hook though if you prefer. I do also just generally recommend having a stitch marker or bobby pin available to help you mark the end of your rows. But that's it. Now, I do intend to put a written version of this up on Patreon for my patrons, but I also intend to add the notes for how to make a little Jimothy to the listing for the original raccoon on Etsy. So if you've already purchased that one there, you should just be able to go back in and download the Jimothy version as well. Anyone who purchases it from now on will just get it as one of the documents. If you have purchased it in the past and you can't find where to download it, send me a message on Etsy and we'll work it out. So the first 7 rows of Jimothy are exactly the same as the original raccoon. Check it from this to something a little closer to this. So if you get stuck, you can check them out in the original video, which I will link. The full pattern is going to be on screen here today, but I'm really only going to focus on the changes we need to make to turn it into Jimothy. Okay, so there we are at the end of row 7 of just our original raccoon. It's the same as this guy here, up to and including the insertion of the eyes. And so this is where the new Jimothy rows start. And you'll see there I have also trimmed off the black and the white. We will still be needing both of those as we work up the rest of him, but he's mainly grey from this point onwards. So heading into row 8, we're going to start with 4 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then 3 single crochet all into the same stitch, and that should be the middle stitch of the black part of the ear so far. 1, 2, and 3. Then 6 single crochet down the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now we're going to be starting the little front legs. So we are basically directly below his first cheek here, and we're going to put 5 single crochet all into the same stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then it's 4 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And 5 single crochet all into the same stitch to make the second leg. 6 single crochet up the side of the face. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then 3 single crochet all into the same stitch. And 4 single crochet back to the start of our round. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's what we currently look like. So you should have 40 stitches in your round at this point. So row 9 starts with 4 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're then going to skip the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3. So in our 4th stitch from our hook, we are going to work 8 single crochet down the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. The next stitch of your round should be the middle stitch of your 5 single crochet all into the same stitch from the previous round. And we're going to work 5 single crochet all into the same stitch. So that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. 8 single crochet across. 1, 2, 7, and 8. 5 single crochet all into the same stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 8 more single crochet up the side. 1, 2, 6, 7, and 8. Then we're going to skip the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and work 4 single crochet back to the start of our round. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that should leave you with 42 stitches in your round. Row 10 starts with 2 single crochet, 1 and 2, and then we're going to be skipping 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So starting in the 5th stitch from your hook, we're going to work 8 single crochet down the side of the face again. 1, 2, 3, 7, and 8. 5 single crochet all into the same stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 12 single crochet across the tummy. 1, 2, 3, 10, 11, and 12. So the next stitch of your round should be the middle stitch from the 5 single crochet all into the same stitch from the previous round. And we're going to, once again, work 5 single crochet all into the same stitch. 2, and that's 3, 4, and 5. 8 single crochet up the side. 1, 2, 3, 7, and 8. We're going to skip 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then work 2 single crochet back to the start of our round. 1 and 2. So there we are at the end of row 10, and what we've done there is we've finished making the little ears, which might need just a little bit of a pinch from you, and we've nearly finished establishing those front legs. The big difference between the original raccoon and a Jimothy raccoon is just we kind of just have to build all the features in on top of one another. It is the joy that is Jimothy. In row 11, we're going to make the little tiny feet. So I'm going to start by working 12 single crochet, changing to our black. 1, 2, 3, 9, 10, 11. So those are the first 11 and we have one more to go, and I'm going to use that to make a color change. Now, normally I would have shown you how to do color changes in this video, but because you've already had to do so many for the face, it feels a little superfluous to introduce you to them now. So changing to our black. We're then going to work 5 single crochet all into the same stitch, changing back to our gray in the 5th stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is 5, changing back to our gray. With our gray on our hook, we're going to work 16 single crochet across to the tip of the other leg, changing back to our black in the 16th stitch. 13, 14, 15, so this is 16, and we're changing back to our black. And I am just going to trim it off from where it currently is. Tie these 2 ends up. And reattach it where we need it now. And with our black on our hook, we're going to work 5 single crochet all into the same stitch, changing back to our gray in the 5th stitch. Then it is just 12 single crochet back to the start of our round. 1, 2, 3, 10, 11, and 12. So that's the end of row 11, and you should have 50 stitches in your round at this point. So row 12 starts with 4 repeats of an increase, and then a single crochet. So there is our first repeat, and we're going to do that 3 more times. Increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, and one more, increase, and a single crochet. There we go. And then we're going to skip 13 stitches. So that should consist of 4 grey stitches before your black. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 5 stitches of your little foot here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then 4 more grey stitches. 10, 11, 12, 13. So fold that leg up into position, and in the 14th stitch from your hook is the next place we're going to work. And we're going to work 8 single crochet across the belly. So that's 1, 2, 3, 7, and 8, which should leave you 4 grey stitches before your next foot, and we're going to skip another 13 stitches. So again, that's 4 grey stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 black stitches, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 4 more grey stitches, 10, 11, 12, 13. So the next stitch we work is going to be in the 14th stitch from our hook. And we're going to be working 4 repeats of a single crochet and an increase. So that's 1, and there should be 3 more before the end of your row. There we go. That is what mine currently looks like. Okay, you're trusting the process? Good, good. In row 13, we're going to start with 11 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 9, 10, 11. Then a decrease, and it should be 1 stitch from one side of your skip stitches and 1 stitch from the other side of your skip stitches. And you can work this as an invisible decrease or a standard decrease if you prefer. I'm going to work a standard decrease. Then 6 single crochet across the tummy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and a second decrease. Then it's just 11 single crochet back to the start of our round. 9, 10, 11. So at this point, you should have just 30 stitches in your round. And that's the end of the front legs, and we're now going straight into making the back legs. So row 14 starts with 12 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 10, 11, and 12. And then in the next stitch is where we're going to start growing our back legs. If for whatever reason you're not lined up roughly behind the front leg, you can work as many single crochet as you need to push your row start over. Or you can frog back as many stitches as you need to bring your stitches back into alignment behind this first leg. Shouldn't be too much of an issue though. Jimothy is a smaller pattern than the bigger raccoon, so it will be interesting to see if this impacts anybody. Anyway, we're going to work 5 single crochet all into the same stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 single crochet across. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then 5 single crochet into the same stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's where the 2 little back legs are going to sprout from. And then it's just 11 single crochet back to the start of our round. And row 15 is nearly the same thing again, starting with 14 single crochet, 5 single crochet into the same stitch, 9 single crochet, five single crochet into the same stitch, and then 13 single crochet back to the start of our round. There we go. So that should leave you with 46 stitches in your round. He's coming together nicely. So in the next row, it's basically the same thing, but this time with some color changes to form the little feet. So row 16 starts with 16 single crochet, and we're going to change to our black in the 16th stitch. 1, 2, 3, 13, 14, 15, and this is 16, changing to our black. 5 single crochet all into the same stitch, changing back to our grey in the 5th stitch. "13 single crochet across, changing back to our black in the 13th stitch. 11, 12, and this is 13. 5 single crochet all into the same stitch, changing back to our grey in the 5th stitch. 15 single crochet back to the start of our round. 1, 2, 3, 13, 14, and 15. I think that's as wide a round as we get for this pattern. It's 54 stitches, but we're going to take away a lot of them in the next row. Just trim this off so we don't trip over it. And we're going to head now into row 17, starting with 11 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 9, 10, and 11. Then we're going to skip 15 stitches. So that is 5 grey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 black, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 5 more grey. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So this is the 16th stitch from our hook, and it's going to be the next one we work into. And we're going to work just 3 single crochet across. 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to skip 15 more single crochet. So that's, again, 5 grey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 black, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 5 more grey. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then it's just 10 single crochet back to the start of our round. 1, 2, 3, 9, and 10. So those are the legs, the little leggies, mainly formed, but we're going to work one more row before we stuff it. So row 18 starts with a decrease, then a single crochet and a decrease, 3 single crochet, 1, 2, and 3. 3 single crochet 3 togethers. So that's basically 3 repeats of a single crochet 3 together, which is a decrease over 3 stitches instead of 2. So a single crochet 3 together means we just pick yarn over and pull up a loop through each of the next 3 stitches, yarn over and pull through all 4 loops on our hook. There is our first one. We're going to do 2 more of them. Second one and third one. Then it's 3 single crochet, 1, 2, and 3, and then 2 decreases back to the start of our round. 1 and 2. Okay, so the time has come to stuff our little raccoon. So I would like you to grab your stuffing and tear it up into little cotton ball size puffs. That's going to stop your raccoon being too lumpy. Then we're just going to work each one of those puffs down into the various nooks and crannies on this particular pattern. And you are going to want to stuff him fairly firmly. Don't worry too much about getting the stuffing down into the legs at this point. But do make sure that you get them, but do make sure you get a little stuffing into each of the ears and into the cheeks of the face. What you got to understand about Jimothy is this little lad, he is a survivor and he is well fed. That is what we currently look like. He has the usual twist of the raccoon pattern. It's just on a much stumpier scale. All right, so now we are heading into the little tail section because he does have a little puff of a tail. So row 19, we're going to work 3 single crochet. 1, 2, and 3. And then 3 single crochet 3 togethers. So that's 1. 2. And 3. And then 2 single crochet, changing to our black in the second stitch. 1 and 2. And that is it for our grey. So you can trim that off and tie it off. In our black, we're going to work 4 repeats of a single crochet and then an increase. So there's our first one, and we're going to do that 3 more times, changing to our white in the very last stitch of the round and leaving our round with 12 stitches in total. Now in our white, we're going to work 5 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then 4 increases. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then 3 single crochet back to the start of our round, changing back to our black in the third stitch. Then in our black, it's just 16 single crochet around. 1, 2, 3, 14, 15, and in the 16th stitch, we're changing back to our white. In white, we're going to work 3 decreases. 1, 2, 3. Then 8 single crochet. 1, 2, 6, 7, and 8. And a decrease to finish off our round, changing back to our black. So that is it for the white, and we can trim that off at this point. But we are going to just take a second and shove a little bit more stuffing into this tail, just to help it hold its shape a little bit. And just in case the butt ended up a little understuffed. Finally, for row 24, we're just going to work 6 decreases around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and finish off. So that is the main bulk of our little Jimothy friend. But we do still need to do a little bit of finishing off work to close off some of these openings. So we'll start with the one at the back of the tail. I'm going to take this remaining strand of yarn and just pull it through the front loops of every remaining stitch. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and pull it tight, like a little drawstring bag. And we're going to tuck that end down inside the main nugget of the body. There we go. Cute little tuft of a tail. And now we need to wrangle these legs a little bit. So if you did the Highland Cow the other week, or any of my Mischief Gang up to this point, you've done this technique before. I'm going to do it with a needle today, but it can be pretty easily done with a hook as well. And all I'm going to do is take a strand of my grey, and we're going to like lace the back of each one of these legs shut. So first I'm going to take any tails, make sure that they are laying down inside the leg. And we're going to flatten the leg to form pairs of grey stitches. So these back legs should have 5 pairs and the front legs should have 4 pairs, but we'll start with the back legs. I'm going to like lock my yarn in place at the back here. Working a little stitcheroo. And then all I'm going to do is stitch through those pairs of stitches that we've identified. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to pick up the front loop only of the bottom layer and the front loop only of the top layer. Pull my yarn through and bring it down. Do the next thing for the next pair of stitches. I find that I get a much nicer look if I keep my stitches all running in the same direction. And I like this kind of like stitch through the loop technique because frankly it takes all the guesswork out of where your stitches should go. So that's 4, this is 5. Now I'm not going to do anything with the little stitches of the foot. I'm just going to pull that a little bit to wrangle those stitches into place and thread my needle back down to the base of the leg and out. Now these pairs of stitches also help line your leg up. So when they're sitting kind of cattywampus like this, when you line those pairs of stitches up, it kind of pulls them into a predictable alignment. So then I'm just going to thread across to the next leg, which also happens to be a back leg. For the sake of argument, I'll do this next one with my hook. So pick up front loop of the bottom layer and the front loop of the top layer. Grab the yarn and pull through and toss back to the top. Now, this is kind of the reverse direction of the first leg that I did. That's just because with my hook I work in one direction and with my needle I work in the other. It will not be a noticeable difference. It's 3, 4, 5, and rather than threading down and in, I have to thread up to pull it down. There we go. So those are the 2 back legs done. So they each had 5 pairs of stitches and the front legs each have 4 pairs of stitches, but I'm going to use the exact same technique for them. So does this pattern count as no-sew? I've always felt kind of conflicted about that sort of thing, because to me it's about as low-sew as a pattern can realistically be. But you let me know in the comments, because I would personally consider it a no-sew pattern, but the goal here is to communicate effectively so that people are getting what they expect to get. And out and loose. Tuck that in. Then the final thing I need to do is just stitch a little black nose on the end of that snout, because try as I might, no matter where you put a colour change in that first row, it'll always look crooked unless you stitch it on at the end. It's off to mischief. Now, if you find the legs are sticking out a little bit too splat mode for your taste, you can just stitch them to the body into a more stable position. But there is our little Jimothy. So here is today's Jimothy pattern compared to the original raccoon. As you can see, he's not a baby, he's a full-grown boy. It's just he's just a little stumpier, which is perfect. Thank you all for humouring me today. This pattern didn't exist like 12 hours ago. So yeah, that is our little Jimothy. And now I have to get back to work on the next actual official video for next week. Okay, bye! Was this video planned? No. Do I already have like 3 other raccoon patterns on this channel? Yes. Some of them are teeny weeny, Look at this. So that is my smallest raccoon. And that is my biggest raccoon. There is no foreshortening happening there. But I don't know, I'm the self-appointed raccoon expert around here, and I decided that our little friend Jimothy could not go uncelebrated.